Hi, today I want to give you a little bit of an introduction about research techniques here in history of Western civilization. What we have to ask are three basic questions. What is a source? What is a quality article, which is what you'll be using to write your research paper? And where do I find these articles in the library? So the first question, the first part of our presentation is on sources. Now, in history, we talk about three different sources. Primary sources, number one. Number two, secondary sources. And number three, tertiary sources. So, primary sources, secondary sources, tertiary sources. Primary sources are the real McCoy, the real deal, the evidence. They can consist of things like census reports. They can be the Sumerian inventories that were written in cuneiform on clay tablets. They could be eyewitness accounts that had been written down. They could be just about anything we would call evidence. Think of a criminal trial. Your primary sources would be the eyewitness testimony and also the exhibits A, B, and C that a prosecutor or defense attorney would present. So that's primary sources. This is the gold standard. This is what real historians are looking at. But primary sources are just facts, data, evidence. They don't tell a story completely. They're what we use to build a narrative. That's where we get to secondary sources. Secondary sources are when a historian or a researcher takes the primary sources and turns them into a narrative, explains them, brings their knowledge and understanding of the subject to what those pieces of ephemera, these pieces of data are. So that's a secondary source. These are mainly articles and monographs or books, usually done as part of a periodical. The third type of source, tertiary source. This is an aggregation of secondary and primary sources. Best example of that would be your textbook. So if you look at your textbook, it's got primary sources as part of the chapter, but it's also got secondary sources. They're also talking about what other historians have already found and written about. Tertiary source could also be an encyclopedia that brings together articles from various other sources. Also, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is the ultimate in tertiary sources because it is quoting other people and what they're saying. So those are our three types of sources. Primary source, the original evidence; secondary source, an interpretation of that evidence; and tertiary source, aggregation of both the secondary sources and the primary sources. So that's it for sources.